The Centre of Creative Leadership posted some Gallup research that found that having one meaningful conversation per week develops high performance relationships more than any other activity, any other leadership activity. So I thought I'd look at the reason why that is, and also how you can expand that so that it's not just, say, members of your team, but also how you can use it with clients. First of all, let's look at the 4 verbal methods of communication. We have discussions, and in discussions we're trying to come to a conclusion about something, so we're looking at the cold hard data, if you like, and at the end of it we want to reach a conclusion. In debates we're trying to persuade the other people in the room that we're right, and politicians use this methodology, and they use rhetoric quite a lot. So really you're trying to win an argument or win your point of view. In conversation, which is what Gallup mentioned, conversations tend to be divergent conversations, which means that you're looking at different options, and as a result of that, it tends to be quite an independent point of view. So I wouldn't necessarily think that develops high performance relationships. What I think we're really looking at here is the opportunities for dialogue. With dialogue, it's slightly different because it tends not to be that you're coming to any kind of conclusion. You're just trying to get to know all the information. You're actually trying to find out about the soft data, if you like, or the soft warm data, as Nora Bateson calls it, soft warm data. And it would also be, the implicit learning that you would get. Here you might realise something new. Here you might experience some new information. Here you would kind of internalise some ideas. But here, this is where you become really familiar with the subject. Now then, if you're in this situation, we tend to use more emotional intelligence in this situation, because we're really trying to understand someone. Here we have the opportunity for empathy and active listening. We tend to be asking more questions here, as opposed to kind of telling people and proffering ideas. There's more of a questioning thing. So you'd find this quite a lot in the coaching realm, obviously, for that kind of thing. The reason why we don't do too much of this is, well, this, first of all, tends to be quite egocentric. It's basically what I think and what I want to do. Here we're looking at, like, what can we do? What are all the options? But here, this is quite complex. There's a lot of complexity, and therefore it takes time. So because of the complexity and the time it takes, businesses tend not to do this, because this is quite linear, it's quicker, it's about competing and controlling. But here, this is about understanding. And you're trying to increase that. So why would it create high performance relationships? Well, because if you've ever been listened to, if someone's actually sat you down and said, tell me about your life story, it's quite a memorable thing to have happen. It releases other things such as oxytocin, because someone appears to be caring about you. And as a result of that, oxytocin gives us that feeling of connection, but also something that's really important for humans is this idea of belonging. You imagine that if you are asking and showing a deep interest in someone, it's going to build up that feeling of trust, belonging, and that sense of connection. Now then, as a result of that, it's going to be very memorable. So what we do quite often is use a shared learning experience and ask people, our clients ask their clients and their collaborators to come on a shared learning experience. We call them workshops, which are really a morning spent as a workshop indoors, say, learning some information, say, about leadership or super teams, or maybe mental toughness and resilience. But then afterwards, they then go outdoors. And this is a great way of connecting really deeply with your clients. And as a result of that, you're giving them a very memorable experience. And, there's the opportunity for deep listening, because when you're walking side by side, you're not actually looking at each other. And a lot of therapists advise that you walk side by side or don't look directly at the person you're talking to. But also this idea of empathy as well. It gives you a chance to, in a fast-paced situation, there's not that chance for empathy, but in dialogue there is, because you've got a bit more time. And it is a really powerful way of people that do this often read book with us, because they know it's so powerful. So yeah, if you get the chance to take people on a walk, if you can spend time with them, you get the chance to engage in dialogue as opposed to a discussion or a debate or even a conversation. As you're walking along, or if you're indoors and you're doing the same thing, just having a dialogue with someone, there's no rush to come to a conclusion. It's just about understanding on a deeper level. And as a result of that, if you give someone a good dose of listening, you'll find that it does build better relationships.